That's what Chuck said.
He's an optimist.
No, that's called wishful thinking.
Zach can make it tonight.
I'm assuming so. Oh. It wasn't dark when I came in. Oh, it's dark now. Oh.
I just don't want it soon. There he is. Here, take that. How's that?
Thanks. Like that.
Good to see you. Good to see you too. How's that? How are you?
Good evening, Zach. Do you want chocolate?
Sure. That's like good chocolate. Oh my gosh, today's a good day. I like it.
It's a terrific Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. In the backyard, I have two huge apartments out there. I didn't. They split last night.
Man,
Yeah. What is that thing? It's huge. They split.
gosh. Well, that's sad.
Get stuck in
But I'm glad
space.
it's hard.
I think she's like smushing me into a
I had,
It's gonna have my
there's a tree
space
that
here.
I parked when I came from here. And that windstorm this day.
the mouse works okay on this one.
Even here, though, it just kind of hit it, and it was crazy.
He just has to whip a little.
There's like a tree here, and a tree here.
I have
This tree is like right here.
You have to wiggle in the tree.
I have no idea how I got it, but
You got an arrow here, you got a little hand.
it's the only time I've ever come up to
You run into any rain? Do you run into any rain?
it rained like everywhere I wasn't. It was raining at my office before I left, but I mean, it's like super. There's like crazy Saturday. Hopefully we don't get any of that.
ready.
Ready. All right, I will call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with roll call.
Greg Carnes,
Here.
Jennifer Eden. Here. Herman Ferguson,
Here.
Dean Hawes,
Here.
Pam Offler here, Chris Repetta,
Here.
Zach Tucker.
Here.
All right. Accounting for. Entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I have an addition I'd like to propose, please.
All right.
I'd like to add a discussion on, I move to add a discussion on adding a fence viewer ordinance. It's been getting questions from a number of residents around fences being put up, especially this time of year. And there's a state law that requires us as a township to, it's Act 34 of 1978, Section 43.54, that requires us to have a fence viewer appointed by the township board. They shall appoint, it's not an option, to be able to, it could be a resident, it says, or it could be a township board member, a trustee per the law, and they'd be responsible for being sent out to help look at fence issues specifically. I'm not talking about mitigating property line issues. That's a different type of thing, but specifically around fences. So I'd like to discuss that. I move to discuss it.
I'd like to propose that you table that motion until I have a chance to review it. This is the first I've heard anything of that, and I would need to look into that before I could have a meaningful conversation.
Greg,
Yeah,
don't we
I'd like to look at our current fence ordinance closely
Yeah.
before we have this discussion.
There is an ordinance. George Van Heck came to my house 20 years ago, and it said it comes back from the house, it only from the road back. There is an ordinance already.
Yeah,
on the
height,
books.
I know
Yeah.
there is height and,
And it comes back from the road because I had to cut my fence down.
I apologize, I wasn't clear. I'm not talking about readdressing the fence ordinance, which does exist about certain things. I'm talking about specifically of the assignment, of the appointment of a fence viewer is the name that the law, Michigan state law requires us to have.
and what is that law again?
It's
Remember?
Act 34, Michigan law is Act 34 of 1978 called Fences and Fence Viewer, and it's section 43.54. Specifically is the point on the fence viewer.
Wouldn't Lawrence be that person?
Well, we'll look into this.
Okay.
I'll look into this act with Chuck and we'll.
I'd like to
figure it
make a
out.
motion, at least to put it on the next agenda then, for
We don't know what's on the next agenda.
the next meeting agenda.
I support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay. All right, I'll look into it and if we've got enough information to put it in the packet on the next meeting, we will.
You just voted against putting it in the next meeting, Greg. So
Voted against.
Yep.
you just, you voted against it. So
I guess we won't put it on the next one, we'll put it on the next one after that. Once I have enough information to look at it. This is all a big surprise.
Just so you know, Greg, I completely disagree with that. I think you can vote against adding it to the agenda now
Yeah.
and later make the decision to add it to the agenda.
Yeah,
my
I think
proposal
so,
that was
too.
seconded was to add it to the next meeting agenda. And you guys voted that down.
All right, we're ready to move.
All right, is that
I'll
it?
second the approval of the agenda.
All in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion carries. Approval of the consent agenda, Township Board meeting minutes, May 19th, 2026. The Treasurer's Report, May 31st, 2026. And the Clerk's warrants and bills, June 4th, 2026.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Communications, Planning Commission meeting and public hearing synopsis, June 9th, 2026, and the budget report, May 31st, 2026.
Make a motion to receive and place on file.
Second.
Did you get that, the second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, public remarks.
Hi, Gordon Tomaszewski. What I'd like to ask tonight is something that we don't see happen, but maybe the board can look at putting on a future agenda. I had filed a couple complaints in January of this year in 26 in regards to a business that wasn't operating within inside the jurisdictions of the township ordinances. And I just have some questions I'd like to ask you guys, because I filed FOIA requests. Everything I filed has come back with zero, zip, no information. So my question is, first off, and this is in regards to Ferguson Tree Service. First, what action has been taken to address the zoning violations that that he's currently in violation of? I've checked to see if there's any filings in the state of Michigan under various names, Ferguson Tree Service and such forth. There's no corporation shows up anywhere under Michigan LARA. I've also checked under DBAs, Livingston County. In order to operate a business in Livingston County under a DBA, you have to file and register it with the county clerk. They have no such record now or in the past. State law says in order for you to operate in the county, you have to file that paperwork. So my question is, what documents have been submitted to verify that this business is a legal business running within the township that's operating and not complying with zoning ordinances? I also want to know, has this business been issued a cease and desist letter? We know that's happened to other businesses here. There was a woman who was running a wedding venue. She was shut down because she wasn't in compliance. Bare Naked Woods, currently waiting to go to court. You guys all took an oath to uphold the federal and state statutes, the Constitution. That means all the laws. So if we're not going to uphold the laws, what is the point in even having any ordinances all within this township? How can a board member vote on approving and enforcing ordinances, zoning, and business issues if they themselves are not operating within the law? I'd love to be proven wrong. You know what? The offender can provide the proof. He can prove, I'll give it to the board. The burden of proof falls on him. Let him go ahead and do it. Maybe then we could talk about grandfathering, which is a whole nother issue under state law that everybody professes that this business is running under.
Right, anybody else? No?
Hello, my name is Jennifer Peters. I live at 12995 Holdforth Road, and I'm here to present a possible issue that arose this past weekend. I have new neighbors directly to my west at 12987 Holdforth Road, whom they closed on the mortgage Friday, and as of Saturday, there have been 3 semi-trucks, 2 semi-gravel haulers that have been operating. They have been leaving the home between 5:30 and 6 a.m. each morning, and this is farm residential property. They have begun the construction of an additional driveway or road through the middle of the property. As they haul gravel, they have dumped at least 4 loads of gravel and spread it. And I believe that this is in violation of multiple ordinances. I have been notified I contacted the township on Saturday and Sunday and was emailed back by Marion a form to complete in which I am to identify the ordinances that they're violating, which I don't understand why it would be my responsibility. I purchased my home 8 years ago, choosing to live in a rural area. I operate a tree service. My tree service is not operated out of my home. It is operated out of commercial property, of which I pay a high rate. And I believe that this is a matter that needs to be looked at, investigated before the property, the beautiful 10 acres that once housed horses, just is decimated by a family that's operating a gravel transportation trucking company. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Anybody else?
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. I've been missing in action. I've had a lot of things going on. Daughter got married Friday, finally, so that was good news. It's good to know that you got family members who will still talk to you, right? We know how that goes in this township. Anyways, I guess we just learned something. Gordon done put his foot in his mouth again tonight. Didn't Becky just multiple times say they didn't have a wedding at that place? He just said they did? As you just said, you shut it down because of the weddings.
Direct it to the board.
So whatever,
Scott.
but anyways, he loves to give us the information. I'm giving you the information. All right, I watched the meeting for the planning commission, and how long did we work on the master plan? We worked on the master plan for quite a while, and I know the Ropettas were there. And I saw the last meeting, and I saw Dean and Chris and friends go after Mr. Aller. Mr. Aller came up here and did it the right way to get it rezoned. He did it the proper way. Not only that, how long have we been discussing having that type of businesses done in that area? Because there's no way no one's going to build houses in that area. So Mr. Aller, I think, giving his word, he's going to try to keep it clean. And we all know special applications have got to be made to the planning commission and the board to put anything in there. So Mr. Aller has pretty much no control over that after. He can sell it, but we're going to have more control than he's got. And he made some comments, but I kind of question, is the state going to override him too, like they do the township? So in light to your conversations at the last meeting, do you guys take anything out of all that stuff we were doing for the master plan? 23 corridor has been discussed multiple times. That was possible use for that area. And your friends and business partner doesn't seem to get that. Now, that would be a perfect location for what he's doing there. If they want to come over there and build a building like they got over there on Center Road, that would be the ideal place for it. No one would complain. It's light industrial, kind of like what they're doing over there. When you got 2 sawmills of your own and bringing another one in with all that noise with your neighbors and all that traffic. So, that's why we want that there. We don't want it in our residential areas. So I just could not believe you guys going off on that at the last meeting.
Let's be quiet, please. All right, who's next? Yep, Jeanette?
Jeanette Ropetta, Tyrone Township resident. Okay, I'm changing course here with what I was going to say, but people can check out a post on Facebook and I will write what my comments were going to be. There were several of us that wanted to ask the board a question tonight. I didn't necessarily think it was appropriate for me to ask it because my husband sits on the board, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Because the person that was going to do this asked me if I would do it for them. Couldn't make it tonight. Board members, I'm going to ask you one question. I will only read the question once, but I will ask each of you individually for your answers, so please listen carefully. In the interest of transparency, have you personally signed any NDA, any agreement, or had any private communication, such as meetings, phone calls, text messages, or emails, with any developer, company, landowner, or representative regarding any current or potential project that could affect Tyrone Township? Chris Ropetta.
No.
Dean?
No.
Jennifer?
I'm not answering your question. This is not the time or place.
I can ask you whatever I want. Don't tell me what I can
But
say.
we don't have to answer your.
But you're communicating with me, Jennifer. I didn't think you were supposed to do that. Greg Carnes, how about you? Yes or no?
Not the place. We've already discussed this, so.
Who's already discussed it? I'm sorry? Who's already discussed
This
it?
has been discussed.
Who has? Who's discussed it? I've not discussed this with you. What are you saying? Pam Moffler? Yes or no?
You work for us. That's right.
Herman Ferguson? Won't answer? Zach Tucker?
Mike, stop. You say
Excuse
guilty
me.
one more time, you're out. I'm not tolerating it.
Stop the clock, please. While Greg's talking, I'd like my time back, please.
I don't need the comment in the background.
I need my time back. And quit interrupting me. Zach Tucker? But you answered at the Planning Commission. But you've decided not to answer now. Well, at least you're not looking as angry at me this time. I guess you're checking yourself. Okay, so I don't have time to say the other comments that I was going to, but I will speak. I don't know, I think I should just mention Scott Dietrich's name every 5 seconds, seeing as he's allowed to mention my name. Again, he accused my husband, and therefore me, of being business partners with someone we aren't. We aren't, but Scott, you just keep on making those accusations. Also, if you'd listened to what Gordy said, Gordy did not say that the Millarks were running a wedding business. He was talking about a separate business, and then he talked about the Bare Naked Wood. So check into Facebook, and I'll put my rest of my comments there. Thank you all, the 5 of you, for admitting what you're doing.
Now, Greg, why would you kick me out? Why would you go and do that? We're finding out a whole bunch of different stuff about this board. Who cuts you guys' checks? The township? Maybe the county? Township. Which is paid by the county. Correct?
It's paid by taxpayers.
Taxpayers' money.
Bing, ding, ding, ding. Correct answer. You work for us. Let's get that right. Herm, what's this I hear? Your place isn't legit? I figured it'd be legit. You've been there, God, been working out of that for what, 20 years, 25 years? Man, back taxes are gonna really suck, dude. And the fines, all the pile up. So Aller in this piece of property across the street up the highway here. I left the meeting last Tuesday and took a snapshot of that sign. Industrial lots available. It hasn't been approved. How can he offer that as industrial? Silence. We don't get any answers. And what's Eller's idea down the road when this pole barn shack he's putting up there decides, oh, well, let's sell the other part of this to a data center. What's the go-ahead on the data center? How come we haven't heard about that? People are talking about it, but nobody's saying nothing. We need answers. And start over. Easy enough to do. They did it up north. Wiped the whole damn board out, started all over.
Let's
get some.
stop with the background comments, please.
Let's
Finish
get
your
some
comments.
answers, please. We need answers. There's not going to be a data center in Livingston County, I'm sorry, Tyrone Township. This has been a quiet bedroom community, not industrial anywhere. You want industrial? Go to Owen Road. Go up, look at what's going on up there on Thompson Road. Miller Industrials, holy mackerels, that guy has gone apeshit, man. He's buying it all up, big ass buildings. It's not here. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. And you guys apparently don't care. But, let's see, 5 of you have NDAs Who's getting paid? We will find out.
My name's Jeff Markham. Myself and my wife just moved to Tyrone Township 2 weeks ago. Built a new home over here off of Germany, 11142 Germany Road. So we're glad to be here, and I hope that I just want to read something to you. I'm not a Facebook person, but I found this on Facebook regarding the data center issue. So if you just bear with me, maybe I can do it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, probably not. Tyrone Township neighbors, as our township continues shaping its data center ordinance, I want to share some information that has not been widely discussed. Here's what a 40 to 100 megawatt hyperscale data center, which is the size of a draft ordinance currently allows, would mean specifically for traffic and heavy truck activity in our rural township. Number one, construction is not one phase. It is a 10 to 20-year traffic cycle. Most people think a data center is built once and done. That is not how hyperscale works. Phase one, initial build 12 to 36 months. Industry data shows 200 to 500 heavy trucks per day during peak construction. This includes concrete, steel generators, electrical equipment, excavation, and site prep. Phase two, expansion 3 to 7 years. Hyperscale facilities are built in modules. As demand grows, additional halls are added. Each expansion brings another wave of concrete, steel generators, electrical and cooling equipment, excavation, and trucks. Phase three, hardware refresh cycles every 3 to 5 years, indefinitely. All hardware is replaced consistently. Every refresh cycle brings new server racks, new power distribution equipment, new cooling components, and removal of old equipment. This means reoccurring industrial traffic truck for the life of the facility, not a one-time event. Number two, road damage equivalent to millions of cars repeated over and over. Civil engineering standards show that one fully loaded semi-truck does as much pavement damage as roughly 9,600 passenger cars. So, 200 trucks equals about 1.9 million cars worth of damage per day. 500 trucks equals about 4.8 million cars worth of damage per day. As this repeats with expansions, hardware refresh cycles, generator fuel cycles, and battery replacements. Unless the township requires a road maintenance agreement or bonding, the cost of repairing the damage usually falls on the residents. Number three, diesel fuel delivery, cycling, and removal create permanent truck traffic. Large data centers rely on multiple diesel backup generators, often numbering in the dozens for 40 to 100 megawatt facility, depending on generator size and redundancy design. Each generator includes on-site fuel storage and typically ranges from 1,000 to more than 10,000 gallons per unit. Even if the generators rarely run, the fuel must be delivered, circulated, filtered, tested, topped off, partially removed, properly disposed of. This fuel cycling happens, can I finish? I'm almost done. Is that approved? I'll skip that part. Battery delivery, replacement, and disposal add even more heavy trucks. A 40 to 100 megawatt hyperscale facility also requires large battery banks for UPS backup. These batteries arrive by truck, are replaced every 5-10 years, require specialized disposal, generate additional heavy truck traffic during each replacement cycle. This is another long-term recurring source of industrial traffic on rural wards. Actually, I don't want to take up any more time,
Well,
but to say
You could
this.
submit it in writing to the planning commission,
Oh, I can?
your information.
Oh, great.
Write
Okay.
it all down, and they'll look at
Great,
it.
okay. Thank you very
Put it
much.
with all the other stuff that we're studying on data centers.
Okay, cool.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Pam, can we get a smile?
I'm riding behind here.
Hey, Jeff, welcome to the community, by the way. Thank you.
My wife, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin. Yes, Kevin?
Kevin Ross, Heartland Road. I'd like to address something that occurred during the June 9th Planning Commission meeting. During that meeting, or rather during that public comment, Trustees Chris Ropetta and Dean Haas identified themselves as residents while speaking on certain matters before the PC. Well, every resident has the right to speak during a public comment. It was apparent that their comments were intended to direct or influence the Planning Commission in their capacities as trustees. The Planning Commission is an independent body established to review, discuss, make recommendations on planning and zoning matters before those matters are considered by the Township Board. I want to make sure I clarify that. Trustees certainly have a role in that process, but that role comes later when recommendations come before the board for considerations. When trustees attempt to direct the Planning Commission from public comment podium, it blurs the lines between the responsibilities of the board and the responsibilities of the Planning Commission, and it undermines the purpose of having an independent commission conduct its work. So again, I'm not asking the board to reprimand both trustees, but instead I am respectfully asking that all elected officials recognize and respect the separate roles established in our township government structure so both sides can perform their duties effectively and independently. So I will assume that this is going to be addressed promptly. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Just as a follow-up comment, not to Mr. Ross, but I'd just like to also note for the record that we chose as residents to speak during public comment time, which is a protected right under the Open Meetings Act. Thank you very much. And our responsibilities as trustees doesn't give up responsibilities as residents either. And I'd like to point out that at the April 29th meeting, it's our own supervisor, Greg Carnes, participated in direct conversations outside of public comment time with Commissioner Ross and the rest of the Planning Commission, which would violate exactly what he's trying to address.
So I still have 21 seconds on my public comment, and I disagree with you, Chris Ropetta. There are
This
certain.
isn't discussion.
This is not. You're right, and you're not discussing with me. There are certain process and procedures that take place. Correct, and I have 9 seconds left. There are certain there are certain procedures that are appropriate for the time, and you need to determine whether or not you are a resident or whether or not you are a trustee during that time.
Time's up,
and
sir.
you can't go and take that away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is
I'd like to thank Mr. Ross for identifying that we both identified ourselves as residents before we spoke, because that's what we were. Thank you.
Well, apparently, Dean, it's okay for a planning commission member to influence the board, but not the board to influence the planning. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, anyway, I appreciate you bringing up the fence viewer law. Greg, stare at your paper. A couple years ago, I got a neighbor building a fence on my property, right? So I come up here to the township. I asked Ross Nicholson, hey, I got a guy building a fence right now on my property. I got it surveyed, he's on my property. What do we do about that? You know what Ross says? Well, since we don't require permits for fences anymore, we don't get involved. Is that your stance, Greg? Because Chris just pointed it out for you. The law, the state law since 1978. Each township shall appoint a fence viewer. That's a law, Greg. You all just voted against state law. You're an attorney? Right. You voted against state law, Herm, because you want to shut him down. Guess who gets screwed? Me. I pay all these tax dollars up here, more than any of you, I believe. And the one time I need you to hold up your end of the deal, you sit there and play with yourselves, and we don't get involved. We made a rule. We don't require permits. It's a state law, right, Chuck? Is it a new law? That's why you didn't know? No, 1978. You got two attorneys in the room, what, 50 years of experience, and none of you got a clue. You voted against state law, and you know what? You voted against even discussing it, right, Herm? Don't even want to discuss state law. Screw Jim Combs and his fence. Right? So you're going to look into it? Just so you know, Greg, You guys walk from this second forward, you don't address this, you're willingly and knowingly violating state law. You know now, you're informed. You're gonna look into it? You ain't gonna do jack. You walk out those doors tonight and don't bring that up and address this issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck. Correct me. You've never corrected me one time because you can't. You ain't got the balls to correct me. Because you know I know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Hey, let's,
I'll say whatever I want, Greg. That guy called me a bitch at the last meeting. You didn't do squat, did you? That's why I said, no rules, no rules. I'll say whatever I want.
and you will leave.
Don't talk during my public comment. I'll have you removed. That's part of your code of conduct, buddy.
Leave.
No rules, Greg.
Hey,
You want to make me
knock
leave?
it off.
It's amazing what you can get away with, Greg, when you know your rights. You think I didn't know the sheriff was sitting right here behind me at the last meeting? Did I say anything wrong? No. This is why you have to get rid of public comment, isn't it? Yeah. You can't take people reading you laws from 1978. Takes a garbage pail kid to teach you the law. You better address it, bro. Because you're walking out of here violating the law, just so you know. Thank you, Chris. Good job to you guys trying to follow the law. You guys, all 5 of you, suck. You willingly violate the law. Did you hear that, Deputy? Hey. Make sure they follow the law. Hitch.
Yeah.
Stephanie Booth, City of Howell. I've never seen such unmitigated ignorance in this audience, especially from Jim Combs. What a dirtbag to knock someone's placard. What a dirtbag to knock a placard in someone's seat. That's considered assault. We had a candidate Murphy sit here and do nothing, so that says a lot about him as well. Think about that next election. Will he protect the community if he can't even step in and keep order at a public meeting? These Canadians came along when the asphalt plant situation came up. They pushed it to Genoa Township. And also, it was the property in Genoa Township was owned by our county clerk and her husband. Okay, what are they doing now, angling to push it to another community because they're in so tight with the GOP who vigorously defended them in the recall lawsuit? One of the judges was nearly kicked off for the same reason they used to keep Repetta from being recalled, but they looked at the law and said, hey, let's keep her on the ballot because this is ridiculous going into this zip code issue. So it needs to be investigated. And as far as this peanut gallery back here, what a bunch of ignorant people. Thank you.
Hey. It's not. Knock it off. One more? Nope. Come on. Hey. Hey. Please address the board. Please address the board.
She was commenting back in the back, right?
Are you going to warn her at least, Greg?
Stephanie, please, stop.
I have seen a lot at this meeting. My name is Sabrina King Doherty. I don't live in Tyrone Township anymore. My family owns property in Tyrone Township and has for 70 years. I am appalled at the behavior of some members in this audience, especially the woman who just came to speak. I run a research organization, and I have been assisting communities across the state with this data center issue. And what I have heard tonight is that this board is not following laws that have been set down by federal government, state government, and by your own government. You are not following your own ordinances on multiple different levels. Do you know what that opens you up for? It opens you up for a data center to move in. Or is that what you want? Because multiple people on this board will not answer if they are on NDAs. And what that points to me as is you have already had a proposal come across your desk. I am also involved in multiple recalls of boards across Southeast Michigan. I would be so happy to help this community recall this board for the inability and the unwillingness to A, listen to your constituents, B, make eye contact. Hi.
What's your last name again?
King Doherty.
Okay.
And via OMA, I actually don't have to tell you that, by the way.
That's right. But thank you.
No problem. I love to educate people, especially on things that they seem not to be educated on. Regardless, I have seen some really concerning things tonight, and I have not been to one of these township meetings from this community, but wow, will I be at every single one I can be at from here on out.
Oh, yeah. It's a really good show. Yeah. Anybody else? Yep. All right. Hey.
That's harassing her.
Yep.
My name is Pat Waring, and I have a summer residence at 10564 Runyon Lake Point. My family has owned that property since 1951. This is my first township board meeting. I'm pretty amazed at certain things. I just want to say that I would ask that any discussions about a data center, that people look into what that is doing to communities, to wildlife, to people's health, the vibration that it causes, the noise that it causes, the effect on wildlife, on people with different...
Hey.
What the? She just threatened her. He just threatened her, but something's gonna be done about it. Now. Hey, I'm not gonna let her do it. She doesn't need to step into my space.
Stop.
You walk, that's all right, you bounce to me, and I bounce back. Hey, Greg. Come over here and get my adjourn this, Greg. We can adjourn this meeting, Dad. Come on, get my face, please.
Why are you letting him?
Hey.
You kicked Jody out for saying one word.
Hey.
You let him go on and on?
Stop.
Shut him on.
Yeah.
We're
gonna do a recess. We're gonna do a recess. Recess. Stop. Recess.
Kick him out.
I'm kicking you all out.
Oh, are you?
I'd like to. So we can do our business.
Kick Jody out for saying one word.
All right. Let's go to recess. 5 minutes.
Pat, please come back right when, in 5 minutes. We'll continue your public comments.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Your mom's going over in his grave. Oh, okay. You know what, Kristen? I need to give you a training letter. Herman sent me. Okay, thank you. Training letter.
I just hope they're not having a meeting in the back office violating the Open Meetings Act.
What's that?
I just hope they're not having a meeting in the back office to violate the Open Meetings Act. I have to protect my township. Yeah, I hate the triple bypass loop to get to the one on Lee Road.
Crazy on the intersection, crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So much, even though the store is sort of backwards from what you get used to, you gotta get used to the opposite of what it was.
I'm not even supposed to hear it right now. So, but I can participate, but no, you're right about it.
Herman's got me all blind in here.
Yeah, I left mine too.
All right, I will call the meeting back to order, and Ms. Larry?
Waring, yes.
Waring.
Yes,
Waring.
Pat Waring.
Waring, okay, I have the L there.
So I may not need my whole 3 minutes because I think part of it got heard, but I just wanted to speak to just the things that I know about data centers and the damage they can do to the environment and just to quality of life. And I had a long history with DT Energy as their employee in their legal department. And, you know, there were many things over the years that would come up about electromagnetic fields and creosote with cows licking the utility poles. And the company was a great company, but they sometimes not everything is known about what the environmental impact is going to be to livestock, to wildlife, to whatever. And I think that's just so important that we keep that in mind. I tried to bring 4 additional neighbors with me tonight who were unable to come. Next time I hope they'll be here as well. But I know people don't want that. They don't want a data center. They don't want that constant hum. No matter what kind of jobs it brings or whatever else that might be good, there's just so much about it that will affect the day-to-day life. And our family loves Runyon Lake. We've been part of Tyrone Township, at least in the summer, since 1951. And just the thought that anything like that could be considered is just horrible to us. So I thank you for your time. I wasn't really planning to speak tonight, but as I heard the various issues, I felt I could not walk away without expressing that concern. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
This isn't theater. We don't applaud. All right. Anybody else for public comment? Yes.
Hi, good evening. This is my first township meeting. However, I live at 12377 Peabody Drive. I've been a township resident now for 13 years. Very much love my community here, very peaceful. I've watched a lot of development come in. It's been good and bad at the same time. I like the wildlife here. I love everything about this community. I want you to know I work in tech. I make software. I work with AI every day. This is not something that I support, data center in my own community. I think it's something that has no type of long-term study. There's no type of long-term plan on what it does. Just like my neighbor back there said, we need to see what kind of effect this has before we make any type of plan in this community to add that. It is very important to me that I stay in this quiet little Tyrone Township and that all of you hear me out. I don't care about the politics. I don't care about you people liking each other, not liking each other. Doesn't matter to me. I really don't care at all. I just want to make sure that you hear me out and you make sure that you're making good decisions for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello all. My name is Michelle King. I am her mother. My family has owned their property here for 70 years. My grandfather built his home with his bare hands to raise his children and the rest of the family there. I just recently moved out of the home, and we can't bear to sell the home because it means so much to us as a family. I think that you guys really need to learn how to get along here on the board. This was really disheartening to see that you guys are obviously fragmented as a board here. And you really need to listen to your community and try to be transparent with them on what is actually occurring here. I think a little bit of transparency could go a long way with the community. And if you don't have NDAs, freaking say it. If you do, you guys are not representing your community appropriately. I just really hope that you start to listen to the community, and I guess I will continue to be coming to meetings because I had absolutely no idea this was going on here. And like I said, I can't bear to let this property go. I love it here. This is my peace. This is where I come to get serenity when I need to get away from my life. Please don't let that be destroyed, and don't let the community that we all love be destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Jody Kelly. I want to briefly mention to all of the new people here tonight and people watching online that Tyrone Township has an anonymous online poster that is followed by, liked, commented on, and shared by one of our trustees, a planning commissioner, a board review member, and an employee. Their main message to me is to go home and that I don't belong here. They posted my personal information without my permission, called me degrading names, and in fact, the planning commissioner that came up and spoke about Chris, Kevin Ross, 2 weeks ago, online publicly called me a crackhead. And last time I spoke, I was laughed at by the treasurer. I know that the clerk and Trustee Ferguson are hypersensitive about your thoughts on anything that could possibly be perceived as a threat. So I want you to give me your thoughts on the song that they play on the videos about me and post that you like and you all share. Excuse us to everybody that's here, the profanity, but this is what I deal with.
Cover, motherfucker.
That's how the video about me starts out. That's the song they play.
Cover, motherfucker.
I want to know, Pam and Herman, do you consider that a threat? After getting over the initial shock of the public officials' repulsive conduct, I came to the conclusion that my answer to their go home is, no thank you, I am home. After decades of living here, my current personal connections with friends and family, and the Michigan law, I know that I have every right to keep speaking, as I've done for the last year and a half. Next, at the recent M1 hearing, Mr. Allo complained that taxes are too high on his property for farming, but there are multiple tax exemptions offered in Michigan, and also the farmland and open spaces preservation.
Anybody else? Okay. We'll close public remarks, move on to unfinished business. I don't think we have any, so we'll go straight into new business.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to move number 7 on the agenda, Lake Shannon Homeowners Association request for display fireworks, to item number 2 on new business.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
All right, we'll move number 7 to number 2.
And I'm voting no because there was no reason given. So I don't understand why we would need to
Are
move
we not going to
that.
get to number 7?
It's going to be on our agenda.
Okay.
Right? So,
New business number 1, the 250-year anniversary celebration. There was no supporting documentation. What we put together, we being Jennifer and I, with the Historical Society input, we put together a rough budget for a grilling, hot dog, and ice cream social with some music. We're thinking of doing it July 1st, and we've looked at scheduling it from 4 to 7 here at the Township Hall.
Is this in conjunction with the Historical Society, Greg?
No, they were doing theirs on a different
The
date,
20th, I think it is.
but they
July.
are joining us on this one. They are gonna open up they're gonna have the Historical Hall open with displays, and applications for membership. Actually, Lisa just gave me a document with some other ideas that they were going to put in there, so we're just going to look at that. I know that you and Trustee Rapetta expressed an interest in doing something,
yeah, it was called discussing it,
and, well,
which you voted against.
here we are.
Well, and
We're
we
discussing.
also shouldn't be talking about it because what Zach said here, why would we consider anything without any documentation attached? Zach made that comment about the item that I tried to introduce. So I'm not sure that we're prepared to talk about this at this time.
I don't know about anybody else, but I don't need to research on a celebration. I think the presentation's sufficient for my purposes.
It'd be nice to see the budget before the meeting.
Well,
This is what it is.
we come up with about $1,600, not to exceed. I threw out $1,800 as a cushion, not to exceed budget. We were looking again at hot dogs, buns, the fixings, chips, ice cream, ice, water, lemonade, flags, 12 by 18-inch flags, and then the paper products for this is how we come up with the $1,600.
Greg, on that, Beauchamps, they're gonna donate 10 cases of water for free.
Good, so that means we're already getting under that budget.
We don't have a budget,
Well,
so that hasn't been voted on, and there's no documentation.
well,
I'm highly against voting on anything financial without any documentation that even lists the items, and just verbally doing it is not sufficient, Greg.
well, they'll be in the minutes. I just verbally said it correct.
Like I said, I'm highly against voting
Greg,
on
I make a
anything that
motion
will
to accept
impact.
that.
Excuse me, I'm not finished
vote on it.
speaking.
We can
Excuse
vote
me,
on it if we
point of
can.
order. I'm not done speaking.
Let him finish,
Okay.
let him finish his song and dance. Okay,
That was absolutely rude and uncalled for.
go ahead,
No, you are out of order.
go ahead,
Disorderly conduct.
go ahead.
That's a bunch of crap.
Finish your discussion. I know you're unhappy that you didn't get to see.
You live a double
the
standard
live
up here.
Budget.
You don't want to vote on things because there's no information, but now you want to vote on something because with no information. I don't get it. That's an unreasonable expectation for my statutory responsibilities of fiduciary responsibility. That's absolutely against that. Not to just take your word for it. I'm sorry. Anybody who chides me for what you just did and ridicules me in front of everybody, that's not appropriate. That's a disobedient order.
We're figuring up to 200 people. Is what the budget's for.
Greg, did we
So-
consider anything for the kids, handouts? I mean, you know, the whole
Just the
object of
flags.
this celebration is to bring young people in.
Yes.
I mean, I'm disappointed. That's on this. I'm disappointed that, first of all, we weren't even sent out anything in our township email that this was being put together, that we weren't given an opportunity, because I would have absolutely, if I would have been told you were putting something together, I'd have made a suggestion of, hey, maybe we get a bunch of little flags to give out to the kids, or we have some kind of a, Dave Duran and Uncle Ray does a phenomenal job. You do the Pledge of Allegiance and you get an ice cream. We could have done something similar if somebody would at least give us an opportunity as a board to be involved in this. I'm highly disappointed. That's what I'm telling you, is the way this happened.
I think I heard Greg say 12 by 18-inch flags that we were given out. Do you have any other suggestions? Ice cream, Greg did call Uncle Ray's, and the price was way too much.
I will pay for it.
I'm just saying, it would have been nice to have discussion. Not the three of you, as usual, deciding what the township's going to do
Do you
for
have
250.
any additional items? Any other ideas?
Just
I thought we were going to talk about this and put something together. I didn't think, you guys have already got it all together.
Okay, so do you
I
have
just made a
anything
suggestion.
additional?
What about games for kids, giveaways for kids? I tell you, Pledge of Allegiance, I mean,
What kind of games could we play?
I don't know. That's something that we would discuss.
Well, we can discuss it right now.
You know, I think
I wasn't planned on it because I wasn't prepared, because that's not what it says.
It
And
didn't say anything.
there was absolutely no documents for me to look at to go, this is what they've already got planned. This is what they're thinking.
Well, what
A
else
simple
would you like to
email,
add?
a simple email.
What else would you like to add?
I'd like to add community involvement. That's what I was going to do in the last board meeting when we discussed it, but we got voted down, was to get a community team together to help us plan as a township board. This is not just a board event. This is the 250th anniversary of our country. This is the thing that we want to cherish. It's called the Constitution, which we've all stated and swore an oath to. And that involves all the people that we're accountable to, some of them sitting out here, these fine people, not just our residents, but also people from the community as well. Everyone's welcome here in these meetings, in the public. But this is a travesty that we don't have the community involved in talking about this. That
Something as big as this.
This is terrible.
Do we want to table it and move it to?
Is there anything that we need to approve to allow you to explore the concept, a date or?
Well, see, that, I mean,
We
yeah.
don't, we don't have another meeting.
We don't have
before-
another meeting. That's the problem.
Form a committee now.
So we could move it to September, August, September,
Because of the election, I
October.
don't know.
I mean, August is not good because of the election, that's right. I know there's a reason that we looked at July 1st, because we were looking at dates, and we're into September, basically, to do something.
I understand that,
So,
but that's why I said just
but
a
if we
simple-
do it for
simple
September.
email, I mean, come on.
The residents
We've all got
can-
email.
Well, that's
so
all right.
easy. Hey, guys, what are you thinking? What do you want to do?
If you
We
guys
could have had some discussion. I mean,
Well, that's what we're doing.
You guys,
Stop.
you can't do that.
yes, we can. They can put it out there.
We're doing it
We can-
right now.
We can reply to one person.
Can I
with
just add
ideas.
something, Mr. Chairperson? Can we just have the discussion now?
Yeah.
If you have ideas, let's discuss it now.
If
That's
don't
what
think
we're
it's
here.
that
Board discussion, it
complicated.
has to be
And,
at a
okay,
meeting.
let's
Okay,
do
so what
games.
kind of
You know,
games?
name some games kids
we
to play that we can do right now. Name them right now.
Me?
Yeah.
Tug of war,
Beanbag
potato
toss,
sack race.
tug of war.
They want us to do
Stick
tug of
games
war.
out there.
That's awesome. It really
She
is
did,
an
she
awesome
mentioned
idea.
that.
But,
You did, you've been waiting.
but I think we can focus, And I'm not necessarily opposed to September, I think that's fine. But
I'm okay.
I think we can not necessarily focus on exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we can have public contact at the office and give us suggestions. I mean, there's still time to pull things together.
I agree with that.
Tug of war is fine.
I'm okay.
I mean, I have a.
Moving it to
cornhole
September.
set.
Well, I was thinking if we have cornholes, I mean,
Yeah.
that's something.
I mean, you want to move it to September so we have time to,
I really don't, no. I really don't.
All right.
I don't, you know, I mean.
Then let's
I'm not-
discuss
I'm-
it. I mean, I
I'm
think we
going
can
two
hash
ways
it
with
out.
this, but, you know,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, let's have a discussion
Well,
and start
okay,
generating
let's-
some
Okay,
ideas.
so tug of war,
He voted no to discuss that.
tug of war. What else? Cornhole.
kids love cornhole.
I have two sets.
Cornhole's good.
One's legal, one's just a tailgate. Tug of war,
Maybe, can we do something for giveaways? I mean.
yeah, we could
I mean,
come up with some kind of,
Not that I want to spend all our people's money, but I'm pretty sure everybody out there thinks the 250th anniversary is a pretty big damn thing. And I don't care about $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000. I want something we're going to be proud of when we do it.
And we have $7 billion
We argued about
That's what I'm saying.
spending 12, 18, those 12 by 18 flags. We argued about spending the money for that.
Well,
Just
again-
telling you.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I mean,
Because I'm not here to bitch about the budget, Greg. That's not what I'm
So-
complaining about. Because I think the
come on,
budget's too
Zach,
low.
you got kids.
I mean, a lot of the kids, they're gonna like the food. If we have like cookies or something like that, that's obviously
Do
gonna be
it, do we
popular.
want?
Ice cream is great.
Well, here's a good kid edible craft. We could do just a basic sugar cookie decorating station.
There you go.
Buy frozen
Yeah.
sugar cookies from Gordon's. They got the frosting, they can add sprinkles.
My kids love
Something
chalk. I mean, this stuff's cheap.
Sidewalk
Chalk,
chalk,
and you can
yeah.
decorate
Sidewalk.
sidewalk.
That's good, yes.
I mean,
I got
let's
some
let's put something that's going to be, that'll make us proud as a township.
Bubbles are kinda cool because they give you
Yeah, 'cause you got
ambiance
those-
and the
you
kids
can buy
like them.
those baskets of bubble things that you can hand out to kids that are, you know, they're not huge, but they're fun. And, I mean, let's do something realistic, Greg.
this is good. No, I'm, hey,
Sugar.
this is why we're here. I mean, I was questioning the $1,600 truthfully, so.
I would also recommend sending an email out to all the subscribers in our community to get possible feedback and suggestions, since you don't want to pull a community group together. It might be a great way if
I take
MailChimp will
offense to
allow
that.
responses.
I don't want to? Okay, whatever.
What other?
Are you interrupting me again?
Yeah, I am.
Why?
Because you said I don't want
Those
to.
are fun.
I know, I don't know anybody.
Well,
that has one.
every time I recommend doing something with the email, I get MailChimp complaints from Clerk Mogler.
They don't care
Knopfler.
what you say.
Yeah.
What else?
All right.
Until they
Well,
go in.
let's,
Any other yard games you got?
no. Mine are all.
Can't play beer pong.
No,
You don't have to
I don't
kick
think
me
my
out.
shot ski's gonna work.
Yeah, no.
No.
You don't have to kick me out of leaving, but you could give it to Jody and I, and we'd have the best celebration planned by tomorrow morning. You guys can't do it. And we've got $7 million in the bank. Come on, hot dogs, and you're talking about the price of giving flags away? This is ridiculous.
She's like way out of order, right?
Can't do that.
We gotta make sure, because there's
Yeah, but you
lots of
should give
issues we
yourself
gotta look at
raises.
for some reason.
Yeah. They're leaving. They're leaving. Yes,
Buy one,
it's good.
they're cheap. Amazon,
Jeanette, you
No, I mean,
got
big
the
yard
card?
games.
Amazon.
Chris,
What
do
do
you
they
have any
cost, 25
ideas?
bucks?
Chris,
I don't know.
He wants an email.
do you
to
have
the-
any ideas?
Yes, I've given several of them.
Email. He wants an
Get a
email
community, a
let
group
everyone
together,
know.
involve the community who's part of this township.
I heard that,
Well,
trustee
then that's
Repeta.
was
I'm
my
asking,
primary idea. And then
Okay.
I said, use email to communicate out to the community, the subscribers, and to give feedback, solicit feedback from them. That's
do you
my
have any idea
recommendations.
for entertainment or games or food or desserts or anything like that, music? Well, we could do a family soft, yeah, I was just gonna say a family softball game, but.
Yeah.
Guys,
Kickball might be
really,
better.
you act like you hate the residents.
With
That's
that
really
type
what
of
it
thing, I
is.
think we'd want to check with our insurance and make sure that's an issue, but that would be fun though.
It would be. So what's the next step?
Well, we're gonna have to-
What's an amount of money that
That's
you
them, so I
think
we
is
need to come up
appropriate?
with.
I don't feel like any of those add-ons are super significant cost-wise.
No.
So, I don't know that it necessarily changed the budget a whole lot, but.
I think we should. I think we should raise $5,000.
Okay, make a
That way we
motion.
know we got enough money to do, like I said, I think, and I'm just thinking, myself personally, I think it's more about putting on something that the township is proud of and our residents are proud of to show that we really care about this country on its 250th birthday, not saving $2.
Okay, Mr.
Does anybody
Trustee.
out there disagree with me?
Haas.
I'm gonna ask it. What's more important, something we're proud of or spending or saving $2?
I think worrying about spending a few extra dollars,
Yeah, I
to go raise for children, when you can give yourself a raise?
Yeah.
You have $7 million.
What do we think?
So what are we doing? What are we doing?
What do we think it's actually going to
Point of order.
Yeah,
We can spend less, we just can't spend more, is that correct?
Yes, if we approve a
That's-
budget, we up to.
it'll be a not to exceed.
Let's do a not to, I make a motion, we set a budget to not to exceed $5,000.
Can we have a little further discussion? Because I would like to know what we think that the cost is going to be, because that's over double, I believe, or more than double the original budget.
Right, well, we'll give it a little cushion in case someone comes to us with a
Yeah.
good idea after the fact.
Well, some of this
You know what I'm
stuff,
saying,
we're
if
gonna,
they want cookies, we.
we're gonna get
you know,
donations.
It's nice to have it, you
We
know.
could have a hula hoop contest.
I'm not opposed to it. I
I'm
just,
saying,
I'm
doesn't mean we
trying
have
to be
to
careful
spend
with the
it.
money.
I just, doesn't mean we have to spend it, but I
Yeah.
think we want to make sure that we don't go, oh man, we'd really love to have done that, but gosh, we're short $2. Now, let's just, you know, not to exceed. And like I said, I made the motion.
I'll support you.
all right. Any further discussion then? We'll,
All in favor?
there's been a motion for not to exceed $5,000 to put towards a 250th anniversary celebration. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, are we sticking with the July 1st date?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. So if we
Where's
put,
that?
Pam, if we put something out, on the internet,
Yep.
make sure that, you know, they understand that it's critical that the responses are quick and efficient, so that we have time to react to them.
And they come back with, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, immediately we put a deadline, all responses have to be in by, so that, because we do want community input.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there, it's a great idea, so but we need also, because of the time constraints, and not only agreeing that we want to do it, but getting it set up and is gonna be, you know, logistics. I guess.
Is July 1st, 4 PM to 7 PM?
That's a Wednesday.
It's the Wednesday, just before, and the reason that we were looking at that is before the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Because Thursday, people are gonna be,
Either leaving town or
Heading out.
Friday, a lot of people are celebrating because, yeah.
Heading
So
out.
I think that's a great day. I don't.
Okay.
So I guess we agree that's still the date then?
Yeah.
And that was part of the original,
setup, yeah.
yeah, okay.
I wanted to have a water balloon toss.
We could
Oh, we
fill
could
up
do that.
a little kids pool.
And
Yeah.
we can have.
You know, we
volunteering?
talked about,
We all will.
yeah.
We all go up there and give the community a
no.
shot.
I made a sugar.
I know where to get one. I know where to get one too.
Do you?
Yes, I
think
do.
that would be great.
I know where to get one. I know where to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he volunteered to hurt it, right?
I'll sit in it too. I'll make sure the water's warm.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm putting ice cold. I'm adding ice.
All right. So, new business number 1. New business number 2,
Lake Shannon.
the Lake Shannon fireworks.
Oh, yeah, we listed those out, didn't we?
There's been a request for them to do their display. They have the fire permit, and they have, looks like they have everything in order.
The letter had contingencies in it, if those been satisfied.
Yep.
Okay.
So they've been,
I'll make a motion to approve Lake Shannon Homeowners Association request for display fireworks permits.
there's been a motion. Any support for the Lake Shannon Homeowners Association request for display fireworks permit?
You know, if I don't, nobody seconds it, then Runyon Lake will have a better show for sure this year.
Yes.
I'll second it.
It was a race.
It was seconded.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Do we want to go to the expansion Sheriff Patrol Services?
No, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
There's been a motion to adjourn.
What,
What, for what
why?
reason?
Why would you
Why are we
want
doing
that?
There's no second. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Then I,
We have once a month to speak and to
Yeah.
talk about these things.
Why are we adjourning? We got business to do.
I think we might be able to get
Perhaps it
through
was
it pretty
our
quickly.
yeah, I think we can.
It's ridiculous.
I think we can get through it. So there's been a motion
There's been a
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
All right, we will carry on. Expansion of Sheriff Patrol Services.
Greg, before we go, I know we probably won't, but I'm going to ask Mr. Ferguson to recuse himself due to his relationship with the sheriff. He's an honorary deputy sheriff. He
No, not in
advertised-
Genesee County, not in Livingston.
Well, okay, so, but you're still advertised with the police departments on your business for money. You have signs, you do, you make money off being associated with the police
No, I
department.
don't. No, I don't. I
There's a
make
sign,
zero.
there's a sign right down the road that's got Ferguson Tree Service on one side and Support Your Police on the other.
It's nonprofit.
Your Ferguson Tree Service makes money.
Yeah.
You're advertising using your relationship with the police department.
No, it's not true. So.
Again, I've asked, you know, so I asked.
disagree with that
I-
100% on
If he
that.
doesn't feel there's a conflict.
I know, I can't
There is
force
I
none.
mean, yeah,
Okay.
I'm, point taken.
Go ahead.
So anyway, Sheriff Murphy did go through and put together the reports as requested. I just wanted to say my concern for the township and its safety. We do not have, a lot of the township residents think we have 24-hour service, and we do not. We do not have 24-hour service. We have a deputy on patrol in our area from what, 11 a.m. to, no, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
3 to 11,
Yes.
7 days a week,
Yes.
and that is it.
But no, that's not it, Greg. We are covered 24/7, just not by an in-township resource that we
Correct.
pay for.
Correct.
Don't make sure we don't characterize it as, we don't have 24/7 coverage. All you residents, we have 24/7 coverage.
Yeah, we
But
just don't
do
have somebody in the
hire-
township
We do hire a deputy to be here from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
in the
And
township.
Extra support.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Greg, I just.
Basically, the reason that the township did this initially is if you look at, take for example, Argentine Township. They are in the far southwest corner of Genesee County. And the support from Genesee County Sheriff was so poor, they wound up putting in their own police force, their own law enforcement force, which costs each resident roughly I calculated it costs each resident roughly $120 per year. Each resident, not taxpayer, resident. Okay? We currently pay for the service that we have, the 24, or the, the 8 hours, 7 days a week. We pay, if you look at per resident, about $8 per resident, per year. So it's a pretty good deal, and we're in the same kind of predicament as Argentine. We're in the far northeast corner of Livingston County. Luckily, Livingston County doesn't have a Flint that takes all of the county resources, which I think happens in Genesee County. Also, if you look, Fenton Township, their actual township hall is a substation for Genesee County Sheriff Department, which is, I've been there quite a few times, and it's pretty nice setup. But again, I'm sure the residents pay for that. On the other hand, they have 24/7 coverage.
Which we also have.
Yeah. I guess I have two issues with this right now. One, this is great information you sent me, and I appreciate the breakdown. But, you know, if you look at the breakdown, they're covering about the same amount of things on shift and off shift. So I guess we're getting, even off shift, we're getting the same coverage.
Well, it's response time though.
Well, that's what they didn't give us.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, and I guess I'm looking at this a different way, we may think it's good money spent, and I've heard all the residents call and say we want this. I would like this to be put on the November ballot and let the residents truly decide what they want and if they want coverage. It's not an issue, it's 6 months away, there's no reason it can't go on the ballot. All we'd have to do is have Chuck draw up the language to have it put on the ballot and let them decide whether we want and what we want for coverage.
Trustee Haas, so I need some clarification here. You want it to go on the ballot for what, a whole new police contract or just for additional hours?
The whole thing, let them decide what they want. Put the new contract together with the cost.
Okay.
And put it on the ballot and let them decide.
The issue we have is we do have a contract with the Livingston County Sheriff's Department that does not expire for several years. We also have a special assessment district that does not expire until March 31st of 2029. That's what pays for our fire and our police.
Well, then what would, again, it's that Chuck have to drop the language properly so that we don't add any more, and when this expires, it expires.
But that's not until 2029.
If it's whatever it is. But I think the residents should have the opportunity to decide if they want to spend this money. We keep talking about this is for the residents, this is for the residents, this is for the residents.
Sure,
So let's let the residents
and I
decide.
understand that. What I'm just saying to you is that it wouldn't be on this November ballot. It's 2026.
We could do the vote this November, yes.
That it doesn't expire until 2029, the special assessment
indicate
district.
that at time of expiration, it would not be renewed and it would end.
So then how would you go about, how do you propose we would handle the fire services then?
One's got nothing to do with the other.
It does when it comes to the special assessment
The special,
district, because we create that district for the entire township, and
assuming-
it includes
I'm
both
assuming that-
fire and
I'm
police.
assuming that expires at the same time for the police.
Yes.
Then we would redo it when it came up to be redone. We would redo the special assessment to only include the fire. I mean, this isn't rocket science, correct? I mean, if we have contracts and we have agreements, we have to meet them. But we can still have an election, we can still let them decide this November as to whether at the end of them current contracts, everything expires and does not get renewed for police.
So scenario one, I like scenario one and scenario two, but scenario one is pretty cost effective. Do we know roughly what the increase in costs associated? Because I mean, the data that we have doesn't suggest that it would be a particularly significant cost increase.
4 hours.
Yeah.
But it is an increase.
It is an increase.
We're going to push on to the members of our community. And I don't think we have the right to do that again.
We do have the right because we're the board. And they elected us to do that.
There's a moral right and there's a legal right.
So our sheriff contract, it doesn't expire until March 31st of 2028.
I mean, that's the most efficient.
Can you, this is for you, Chuck, can you keep those contracts in place and do an additional contract for the additional stuff?
You can amend that contract to include additional coverage if that's what you're asking.
Contract.
Yes.
The police?
Yeah, you can. I mean, the sheriff's department would have to agree also, but
Yeah.
So the scenario number 2 that you asked about, Zach, which would be 11 to 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., that would be an additional $95,966. But that's prorated because we're already how many months into our year, right?
And scenario one, sorry, Jennifer, actually, that one I think is, at least from my perspective, the most cost efficient, because that's a lot less hours.
So that would only be 2 to 11.
Right.
2 hours.
7 days, it's an addition, I
So
believe,
it would
of 7
be
days
half
per
of
week.
that.
So
Half
50,
of the 95.
50. Okay.
Our 2026 rate is $65.73 an hour. And for 2027, it goes to $68.03.
All right.
What I didn't see here in this contract or this proposal is what problems are we having now with the way it currently is under the current contract?
It's response time.
Hold on a second. What I did hear Sheriff Murphy say was that he's soliciting this in case we have money to spend, that, no offense to the deputy in the room, but he pays the deputies on 12-hour shifts, and we're only contracting on an 8-hour shift, which means it would be more convenient to just pay them the 12 hours and stay in one township, and because I asked him that. And it's not based here on anything that says, because of this, 4 extra people died in crashes because they were outside of the time that we had, or where are the complaints of response times that we're not meeting off a contract and on
Trustee
contract?
Repett, it's in every board packet. Yeah. If you look at it, it's in every board packet.
Which is, what is?
The response time for each call.
I'm not saying the response time, I'm saying where's the problem with the response time?
Look at the data and find it.
The data doesn't, okay, here, it says, start at 11:14 or 1400. That doesn't tell me a problem, that's just a piece of data. That's all. I'm saying, where is the information that simply says, hey, here's what we're doing, and when we're off contract, not on 3 to 11, we receive this many additional calls that are complaining that we're not getting service.
They're not, they are getting service, Trustee Repetta.
Yes, but not in a timely fashion.
Correct.
That's my point. Where are the complaints of that? I'm trying to establish, just for the board, I'm trying to establish, do we have a problem with our current coverage model or not? And what we're getting is a proposal from the sheriff to say, hey, if you guys want to spend this money, part of that $7 million you have, here's a proposal that we could possibly do to give you, to make it better and make it easier and make it faster. But do we have a problem we're solving today? I don't see that in this proposal. I don't see that we have a problem that needs to be addressed.
If you read the board packets,
I did.
not just this board packet, every board packet.
I do.
It's always in there.
I do.
It's not a difficult problem for me to
And
understand.
the wait time is
No.
over, what,
The-
30 minutes?
Yeah, sometimes longer.
Okay,
yes.
well, if-
And see, part of my concern is not so much what has happened, but what could happen, and then we don't have the coverage. We have.
Such as, we also have state police, by the way, that
Yes,
also
we
work
do.
with us.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Have we solicited anything from them as far as costs and what they would do?
And
I don't think they
they
do
don't
that,
do
but I
that.
could be wrong.
They don't,
Yeah.
no, not to my knowledge.
So what I don't get from the reports, to your point, Zach, what I don't get from the reports in every board packet from the sheriff, I don't get here's where you should be allocating more resources in order to solve this particular response problem. I don't get that. I don't see that.
It's right in this. I mean, the scenarios break down the coverage, and
I understand the coverage data points are there. I'm talking about the fact that the sheriff's department is covering. They're covering with the various response times. I get it. That's just data points. But the analysis of that data isn't translated into, you have a problem in Tyrone Township with your model. You need to spend more money because there's an emergency right now that you can't meet.
It's
That's
not
not
gonna
there.
say
In a timely manner.
In a timely manner. That's not what's being called out.
Do you want the residents to have a 15-minute response time or a 30-minute response time? I mean, it's that.
All I'm saying is that.
Depends on what it is.
It depends on what it
Yeah,
is.
but how do you don't know. You're not gonna know.
And we don't know because we don't, it's not
That's right.
here. The only way we would know is if they would have given us
That's
that
the problem.
information.
If somebody's breaking into my house, I want a 15-minute response time.
Right.
And when does that happen? What time this date? Tell me when that's happening right now.
Well, but if you look at it, if you look at what they put together, it talks
did.
about how many calls will be within their coverage window.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can assess that. And the most efficient one, at least my read of it anyway, was scenario one, because it's a relatively small ad, and it picks up quite a bit. It brings a lot of that uncovered space into the covered hours.
We don't have uncovered space. We're always covered. It
You
just
can continue to
depends.
fixate on that, Trustee Repeta, but
It's
there's
true.
a difference between the response time during the covered periods and the not covered periods.
Well, they're actually, we should refer to them as on-contract period and off-contract, because coverage is 24/7. It just depends on whether we have the deputy here in our township area gets a faster response or not. Still 24/7 coverage.
I think everybody understands that.
Well,
And your answer, you said, what does the customer want? Does he want 30 or 15? I don't know. You don't know. None of us know. They know. That's why I think they should be
I'm
the
pretty
ones.
sure if somebody's breaking into your house, you want a 15-minute response time.
I don't even think that's a question.
Yeah.
I think you also ask any of the 3 large churches that we have in the far north end of our township. And I point them out because of some of the stuff that's been happening.
Greg, that's exactly why I'm saying let's let the community decide.
and
If that's
it's
true,
like-
then they're gonna say, heck yeah, we want it, and we want more maybe.
I'm.
That's why I let the residents decide, not us.
Well,
think
that's
in-
what we kind of do
Because
when
we're
we
all
do
sitting up here
the,
guessing what they want.
the public hearing, when we redo that SAD, we have a public hearing.
You've already
See
made up
their
your minds
inputs.
at most public hearings. I think a workshop that we've always talked about would be a great place to invite the public in for open discussion about this topic. Yeah, you can talk over me, Jennifer. You can ridicule me, anything that you
Jennifer,
want.
do you want to make a motion on what it is?
I want to
I'll
make a motion that
we accept
I make a
number
motion.
1. I make a motion, we accept number 1, 4 hours.
I'll support.
There's been a motion to accept scenario one with the increased hours.
So you guys,
All right,
just
we're making
to,
it.
no, we don't have to vote yet. If the discussion is not over,
Yeah,
just because
no,
you
we
have a
can have
motion.
we can have
No,
discussion.
vote is after we're done with discussion. So what you're suggesting is that just to shut me up and Dean, you want to vote on this to get us off your back, and so we don't have to hear anything more and move on. This is such an important issue about money being spent, their money, my money. This should be a complete community involvement issue. Absolutely, without question.
And you're right.
And we shouldn't be
And
voting
we are
on
going to
it.
go to an SAD
No,
for
you're not. You're
24
voting
hour-
on committing dollars now. That's what you're voting on. That's what
Yes or no?
that's what their motion is.
It is.
So-
It's to spend $100,000, well,
It's either vote
prorated
yes
out for
or
the
no.
balance of the year. But
Wait a minute.
$100,000.
Okay,
Scenario one does not spend 100.
yeah, I know it does.
And you haven't made any of these costs by scenario available to the public, so they have an idea. You're throwing out some numbers, Jennifer. Thank you. That doesn't help anybody visualize. There's nothing up on the screen that says, here's the cost.
On our website.
These options are scenarios beyond the contract.
Yeah, and the contract gives an hourly rate. Do the math.
Like I said, you are not in favor of making life easy for our residents. They're not even easy for the board, some board members, including me. You've already said that, I understand. Go calculate it yourself is what you're telling the residents. And I'm saying make it easy by publishing this information with the cost to the public in a packet that's available to the public. It's the board meeting packet that they can download and look at, that I can download and look at. But no, you don't want to do that. That's very clear. I got it. It's too much work for you.
Did I say I didn't want to do that? No. But you could do your own homework too.
There you go. So can all the residents, right? They can all do it too.
Well, they
But
can
we
call
pay
us.
you as a treasurer to help us to do that.
And I
We-
gave you those numbers.
All right, just for the record, in the board packet, there are no dollar values for scenario here. Just to let you know, those numbers are not existent in the board packet. Thank you very much. I think this should be tabled until we can have a public workshop.
so
I know
scenario
there's a motion and a support, but I'm just saying I think it should be tabled until there can be a public workshop where we get
You
the
don't need
input
a
at
public
minimum.
workshop. Do your homework. I'm telling you the answer. 7 hours. We pay $65.73 an hour. Can you handle
The
that?
hourly wages are in here, reference.
Figure it out. $65.73 an hour times 7 hours. Would you like me to do that math for you?
I would like you to do it for the public's sake. You don't understand anything.
I do understand. I understand you don't know how to put numbers together.
Okay, there's been a motion and support to approve scenario one for increased sheriff coverage.
Is this in the budget, by the way?
Can we keep going?
Is this
Wait,
in the
you let
budget?
him pirate
Hey,
every meeting.
Is this
I'm
in the
talking
budget?
here. There's been a
Herman, you
motion.
can leave this meeting anytime you want. If you can't
You
handle
can too.
it.
You
I'm not, I've got to get questions answered. Is this in the budget even?
There's been a motion, yes. There's been a motion and
Thank you.
support for approval for increased hours. Scenario one, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to civil infraction ordinance amendments.
I have lots of questions.
Me too. Tons.
Okay, then.
So before we begin, I just wanted to make a statement that this enforcement ordinance It revokes ordinance number 22, adopts some of the language from 39A, and eliminates the Municipal Infractions Bureau.
Who wrote the ordinance, this draft?
Or legal.
Really, Chuck.
Chuck did?
Yeah, Chuck was instrumental in it.
Is there a summary, Chuck, of the changes from the previous ordinances that you put together? Is there a summary that says this is what it used to look like, and now we're looking at this, and these are some of the key things we left out?
There was nothing that we left out. What this did, it eliminated one ordinance because you had really two ordinances that served the same function. This document here captures the essence of both of those without having it in two different ordinances. And frankly, it's just a procedure, it's a process ordinance. It doesn't create ordinance violations, it just is a mechanism to enforce ordinance.
Well, it does add additional power to the role of the supervisor, though. That wasn't present in any of the other ordinances. It gives the supervisor rights above and beyond other trustees on this board. Would you agree?
I don't recall if he had the authority under the old one or not, but I do know that the township did have an ordinance enforcement officer, and I think by resolution, that person was appointed years ago for that function, and it was the office, not necessarily the person. But you're right, this does add the supervisor as a person that can have a citation issued.
But solely of all of the people on the board, it gives that person.
I'm sorry, what?
It solely gives the township supervisor and whoever is appointed as the ordinance enforcement officer those privileges. It expands the OEO responsibilities now and giving authority also, explicit authority to the township supervisor.
Yeah, it does.
Which wasn't in the previous.
Is there an objection to that?
Yeah, big objection.
It should be the board,
it should be the board, not just one person.
The board can't issue citations.
Well,
it's
not true.
decision. Yes.
That's not true. It can't, just might mean that you don't want it to, but it can, it absolutely can act in that function.
Come to the board and we can make a vote to issue citations.
Absolutely.
As a board. Because last time I knew, I got my butt in a ringer because our supervisor represented the board. Because we said we didn't want, everyone said they did not want that.
I'd just like to make a note that the township supervisor is the head of the planning and zoning department as well as the assessing. He is here on a day-to-day basis. The board is not here on a day-to-day basis. So if there's something like we had an issue with animals not that long ago that finally went through the courts, if that enforcement officer wasn't available to write that citation, we need someone here at the township that can write that citation on those types of things. And so for me, I think it's.
The sheriff can.
I also, I think it's a good idea. He is the head of that department. It only makes sense. That's just my opinion on it.
I agree with you, Pam.
Sometimes
Checks and
things
balances
happen, right, and I get that.
They don't
Trustee
support that.
Rapetta.
No.
But sometimes things happen that you don't have time to come to the board. So there has to be a mechanism, a backup person. And that's why that's in there.
There's multiples already.
There's a built-in check. The court is the check. The court makes the decision, it's the judge. I mean, this isn't the township that decides.
In addition to that, it does state in here that no one of these that we would approve takes any action unless they've spoken with the attorney. The attorney gives written
and I don't
notice on
think
that.
giving the attorney, putting him in the mix, or her, depending upon who's here, is the right path either.
Who would you have this official consult with, if not the attorney?
With the official consultant,
who should the official consult with other than the attorney? I don't see another option.
The board.
Well, the boards aren't, we're not lawyers
So,
in that sense.
Right.
but you're concentrating power here into supervisor number 1, OEO, that's the ordinance enforcement officer number 2, and the deputy number 3. And the deputy is, as we've just got done discussing, is a 24/7 operation. We don't even have to, whether they're here specifically in this township or not is only 8 hours, but 24/7, which gives us a mechanism.
So that's great. However.
And they're charged with knowing our ordinances, by the way. You are.
Yes.
I'm sorry
However,
about
they're
that.
not always available to come and write that citation.
We're gonna have to write a citation.
And they don't,
Within 30 minutes.
the deputies don't enforce some of the ordinances also.
They have, but in this, it says they have the right to issue.
They don't.
For what's within their purview, they can't enforce the zoning ordinances.
They don't.
Let me show you, thank you for this contract, by the way, because it's in here that, that the sheriff's department is absolutely charged with enforcing our ordinances.
But the reality is, trustee Repeta, they do not.
Well, then they're not providing us the
We
full
have
service of what we're paying them
ordinances
for. Is that correct?
We have some ordinances. Greg, would you like to expand on that, of just issues since you came on
Just
board?
property ordinances that the sheriff's department's not gonna get involved in.
So
They just don't.
Their
They
purview
won't.
is criminal
Yeah,
matters.
They will deal with criminal. They won't deal with,
If you call and say, my neighbor's building a fence on my property, they'll say that's a civil matter and
go
I
take
can't
it.
help you.
I'm really sorry, but this ordinance that you're proposing, this whole document, is around non-criminal ordinances, and the sheriff is identified as one of the
Some of
persons.
it is criminal.
No, not these. These are not criminal ordinances.
This
They of
isn't-
course
this is
will,
an
they of course,
enforcement ordinance.
they of
I
course
think
will
you're not
deal with.
understanding the document,
They
trustee
will,
Ropata.
they will of course enforce criminal stuff, but civil infractions, right? Civil infractions, civil, not criminal, are throughout here, and they're identified in here as being to uphold these civil
infraction is a
infractions.
criminal citation.
You're saying civil infractions
Yes.
are criminal.
It's a lower level. It's below a misdemeanor. It's below a
Okay,
felony.
I'll find it. I'll find it and read it because it actually says the opposite in this documentation that I studied.
Well, it can be more than that too.
Well, I'm just saying it says non-criminal is what it specifically calls out in here. And let me find it. So just give me a few minutes and I'll find it.
What? Why is this relevant? I mean,
why is it relevant?
What is the purpose of this?
We're trying to establish that there's already a mechanism. We don't have to have the supervisor be the sole other person. It gives too much power. We need checks and balances in this government. And what I'm suggesting is that we expand that to be more than just the supervisor, the OEO, and the sheriff's department.
That's 3. How many more do we need? How many more options? That's
I don't think we need 3. I think there should be 2, and if there's a third, it should be the board.
That's right.
I disagree. I think
Well, I
the
don't
supervisor
disagree.
is above.
Because you guys wrote this.
We didn't write this. Chuck wrote it.
Yeah.
We don't
You
have
guys
law
had no
degrees.
input, no input whatsoever.
I don't want to be. I'm not here enough to be involved with issuing citations.
The supervisor is in charge with the clerk and the treasurer, the day-to-day operations. Is that correct, Chuck?
Yes.
And his track record on issuing citations also, right?
Well,
It's another
nobody's
reason I think it's
perfect.
a bad deal. He's 0 for how many? Put this township in legal battles how many times because of it, or could have? You know, we're talking about liability.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I got a lot. Okay. How much did this cost? Chuck, how many hours did we bill?
That's not relevant to the matter.
It's relevant because we don't, is this
Did
budgeted?
Steve come in and talk to you in this, in your office?
Is this a meeting?
Can we discuss the issue that's before the board?
Yeah.
You are the board and I'm discussing the issues I have before you. I don't understand the difficulty there.
He is our legal counsel. He has every right to revise an ordinance.
At what cost and is it budgeted? That's all I'm asking.
Everything he does for us is budgeted.
Well, we just had to raise our budget by what, $69,000 for
was
legal
that?
fees?
And why
It's not
was
about
that?
why, it's
Why
about
was
that we
that?
had to.
Okay,
All right, so.
any other questions?
Yes. What's the difference between civil infraction notice and civil infraction citation? It's not listed in the definitions.
The notice is telling the person that they're receiving a citation. The citation is in writing.
Okay, because there's two different schedules for notice and citation. That means they're separate and different. So if the notice just means you're going to notify somebody that you have to pay $100, then they get a written citation that says you're going to pay $100, or does one?
I'm not understanding your question.
I'm confused about the definition of the notice versus the citation. You said one is written and one is verbal.
As they're handing them a citation, here's a citation for a violation of ordinance XYZ.
Okay, the schedule on page 5 says it defines the fines and sanctions for violation and infractions. There's 2 columns for civil infraction notice and 2 columns for civil infraction citation. I'm trying to understand the difference between those. If it's the same, if you're breaking the same rule, right, that you're going to get some infraction for, then they're both civil infractions. One's a notice, one's a citation. I'm not sure what the difference is.
Chuck, I think we were going to take that.
Take one of them out.
Infraction
Yes,
notice.
The
that,
notice
yeah.
out.
Yes.
The left-hand
Yes.
column, 2 columns is not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah,
Yep.
so let's cross that out, that doesn't
Yep.
go there.
Okay,
So we're only going to
that
have.
could have saved some minutes if I knew that ahead of time. All right,
And not to say, but is that also the same, so it's got to come off the back here, correct?
Well, that's the old ordinance.
That's the old one.
Yeah, that's getting repealed.
Okay,
It was copied from that one, but just forgot to omit that part, because we no longer do that.
What else do we have?
in page 2D, section 4D, the ordinance enforcement officer's duties shall include the following: investigation of ordinance violations. I'd like that to be expanded to define what the investigation would include. Up to this point, the civil infraction violations that have occurred have been only about questioning one side of the party, but never questioning the person who gets the actual civil infraction. So I'm wondering, what would the investigation include? Because when I watch all the crime shows that I love to watch, they always investigate by looking at both sides and investigating both sides of the story, not just one. And so can we expand that possibly?
Doesn't that mean that the language is sufficient as written? Because I agree with you.
The language is not sufficient.
Investigation investigates both sides.
But it's not practiced, so
It has been
calling it out
practiced.
is really important. Calling it out here is important to define more, because it has been the practice up till now to not do that. So I'd want it to be in writing so that we have a commitment to do that.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got a lot.
I just want to stop right there. I'm not so sure I'm on the same page with that.
Oh, so you want it only to be one side?
No, don't put words in my mouth. Let
I'm
me
just
finish
asking us,
speaking,
didn't I? It was a
trustee
question.
Rapetta, let me finish speaking.
Ah, okay.
So let's say, with the scenario that someone is being unruly during one of our meetings. and let's say it's not just verbal, perhaps it was physical. So what you're suggesting is that if they were written a civil infraction, that Greg or whomever is going to interview that person as well as interview whomever else. I guess I'm not very clear on what
Yeah,
you're saying.
that would be the appropriate
That-
thing.
To interview both parties involved, yes.
But that hasn't
Let's say someone comes into the township office during the day and they've raised such a ruckus and they're verbally abusing our receptionist. I call the police and say, hey, okay, we have this person, they come in here, they do whatever they gotta do. Do you want us investigating that? Is Greg supposed to reach out to that
This was a
resident?
citation. He would talk to the representative of the township and whoever the citation was written to.
Absolutely.
To find out what caused the confrontation, how it expanded.
Getting both sides of the story.
Getting both sides of the story.
I think investigation is flexible in that it allows
It
whoever's
allows.
looking
There's
at
the
it.
key word, Zach. It
But
allows.
if you can determine that there's been a violation of the law or the ordinance by looking at a select set of facts,
Or while we're all sitting at the board table viewing it.
That's what I'm trying to
I'm gonna go
prevent.
back to the same thing. We've done that how many times where we've talked to one person, or we've said we investigated it, we got in court and lost. Because we didn't talk to the other side.
No, that is
I'm
not
not aware
true.
of any
That is
situation
not
where that's
factual,
been
trustee Haas.
accurate.
That is not why those cases went that way.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, the key is
Then we
here.
were just wrong.
I would make this recommendation. Because we're a government entity and not a private company, everything needs to be spelled out when there's questions. This is why some laws are very long, and I think putting a sentence in here that says, ensure investigation includes both parties, the township and/or the issuing party and the defendant party, because we're not guilty until proven guilty. That's what I think the law of the land is. So what you're saying is that if it's very clear, then we're just gonna give you the citation whether you think you're guilty or not. And that's wrong. That's against the Constitution.
Well, it's not.
Citation.
It is, it
You have a
is.
Citation isn't a
When you get stopped
determination
by
of
the
guilt.
cop for speeding,
Yeah,
do you get to say, no, I wasn't speeding, you can't give me a ticket?
I absolutely do. I absolutely have the opportunity to say to an officer,
He does. in
I
court.
was not
He
speeding.
does in court.
Of course I do. No,
Before
I
it
can,
gives you the citation, do you
I can
get
say that to the
oh, no,
officer.
no, wait, you can't give me a
It's
ticket.
the
Chris."
court that's the decider. The
Exactly.
court decides the facts.
The court decides.
I'm not in favor of suggesting or detailing in there the investigation of both parties, because it's not always
Prudent.
fitting into that scenario to speak
and
to both parties.
What happens
And-
when the offending party won't cooperate? Well, here, I'm just gonna defeat the ordinance because I'm not gonna participate in this investigation.
And then they can't give me a
They
citation.
They tried
That's
to
right,
do it.
they tried.
And tried to contact, would not respond, did not want to give their side.
Use the
Okay.
Fifth Amendment, whatever they did. They can not respond, of course.
Well, you know, there was a Cantankerous resident that was in the office the other week hollering at the receptionist and myself. And I could have called 911 and taken care of it that way. And then, so in that scenario, there would still be an investigation, is what you're saying, that Greg would still have to contact the individual that was verbally abusive and aggressive and deal with that. And
Well,
it was
if
clear,
you're writing
the
a citation.
entire office
yeah.
heard him.
Yeah.
It was very clear that he had some issue there, and what he did, he did. I don't believe you would need to have both parties investigated in that scenario.
All right, so,
And that comes
Next
from a
question.
non-attorney. Okay, so
next.
It's a non-attorney, but also someone who's here day to day, and that's the scenario that played out.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and it sets us up for lawsuits.
Next question.
Okay, the next question I have is on, next page 3, section 6, number B, letter B, number 3, deny responsibility for the municipal infraction. It says appearing in person for an informal hearing before a judge or district court magistrate without the opportunity of being represented by an attorney unless a formal hearing before a judge is requested by the township. And my concern is that either party can request a formal hearing, but when the accused requests a informal hearing, the township is the only one that can bounce that up and say, I don't want an informal hearing, I want to cause a formal hearing based on that citation. So when we need some more criteria that says when can the township request a formal hearing? Like, can that require a board vote to skip the informal hearing and move right to a formal hearing? Can we put that lever or gate in to help out the process?
The board doesn't have anything to do with these. The board should not be voting on if we're giving citations out or not.
It's not about giving the citation, it's about when can the board.
I think our attorney has to make that judgment call.
And that's what I'm asking, but we're talking about approving some language here, and I'm simply asking, can this language be clarified to what criteria would trigger the township attorney to say, we want to skip informal hearing and go right to formal hearing?
But do you have any?
Trustee Repeta, look at item 2, like bullet point 2 below that.
Okay.
I think that resolves your issue, unless I'm misunderstanding it.
No, it doesn't resolve it. Appearing in court for a formal hearing before a judge can happen, yes. But what I'm saying is that the township can accept an informal hearing, and then at any time, without notice, can change their mind to say, I no longer want an informal hearing, I want to now have a formal hearing.
It's a question of whether or not attorneys are present, and I don't do a lot of this stuff, but you don't have informal hearings with attorneys.
That's correct. So if the township then could decide.
But either party can hire an attorney, and then you have a formal hearing.
I understand. I'm just trying to establish, can we define a little bit more criteria when the township would trigger?
Why would you want to limit the township's ability to bring an attorney in?
Why? Cost, for one. It's a big one. Necessity, and allowing.
I'm not in favor of limiting the township's ability to enforce the law.
I'm not saying that doesn't eliminate it. I'm just saying define some criteria that says, give us some parameters around when that can take place. That's my recommendation on that one.
Did he give you something as simple as, these are some of the things that will trigger a hearing, instead of an informal to a formal?
A formal hearing is triggered when there are attorneys involved on either side.
Again, something that would give us, here's some criteria as to when the township would move from an informal to a formal. In other words, something that would justify his time, the cost to the township, and it doesn't have, again, some of them. Doesn't have to be everything, we're not limited, but at least an idea of what things will trigger it.
Do you have any ideas?
Yes, there are certain types of situations which may require calling witnesses at the time of a hearing. If you need witnesses, it's probably better to have a lawyer there that knows the rules of evidence so that the questions can be properly asked and address any objections that the other side may have. The more complex the issue is, then the more need there would be to have an attorney, therefore have a formal hearing. Those are the two examples that are best.
Perfect. Can we just
add?
When witnesses are necessary, be one example of when we would move directly from an informal to a formal. Again.
I wouldn't want to limit that.
But the township has discretion.
It are some of the.
And the supervisor, as the legal representative, his discussions with the attorney decide that.
So,
Okay.
because the
You
scenario.
got any other questions?
Yes, I do. The scenario is if because it's the burden is on the person who gets the citation, just to let everybody know. They get to say, I will like to challenge this by going to an informal hearing. And then, great.
No,
Okay, that's part of the law.
That's not true. That's not true.
That is true.
No, it isn't. If the citation is issued requesting an informal hearing, the person that's being charged with the citation doesn't have the right to say, I want my informal hearing. They are going to have it unless they ask for a formal hearing. So the burden is not on the person being accused.
Well, that's not true, because
That is absolutely true.
in the case of my wife's citation, she actually had chosen an informal hearing,
No, she didn't.
and then.
She did not.
And then
She
the
did not.
township,
Greg,
Greg, my name is not Greg.
I'm talking to the
Oh, okay.
supervisor. That's not what happened.
I know.
The citation was issued saying informal hearing. The informal hearing is set. It doesn't matter what the accused says about the informal hearing. The only thing they can trigger is a formal hearing.
All right.
All right.
That's incorrect. but
Any other
That's
questions?
I wanna argue
absolutely
that.
right.
Yeah,
Any other
sorry.
questions?
That's a lie.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have another question on page 5, section 9. The first paragraph says, "Nothing in this ordinance shall be deemed to require the township to initiate its municipal civil infraction ordinance enforcement activity through the issuance of a municipal civil infraction. The township may, at its sole discretion, enforce its ordinances in any other lawful action." Does that mean that the township can not use civil infractions to enforce something? Is that what that's actually saying? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. And how do we ensure that that doesn't happen with bias, either personal or political? Is there anything that would prevent?
What is the bias that you're talking about?
Well, the bias is just statistical.
Choosing Route A versus Route B. What would be the bias?
Well, the bias would be who is committing the civil infraction.
No, it isn't. That does not matter who the person is. Either you file a citation against them or you file a lawsuit. It's just a different venue in the same court.
Okay, so really what you're talking about here is the difference between municipal infraction or a citation versus a lawsuit.
Yes, any other type of action, and that would be a lawsuit.
Okay, that's a little bit, well, that's why when it says any other type of action, I could say, just go and tell them that come and pay, that could be another action. Just come in and pay us $25 for that infraction.
Lawful action has to be a lawful action. It could be other things like denying some application at the planning commission because they're not following an ordinance.
Okay. All right. The last question I have is on severability in section 11 on page 6. Can you explain severability a little bit more in layman's terms?
Sure. If there is a particular section of an ordinance that is found to be unlawful, unconstitutional, otherwise, the entire ordinance does not get declared unconstitutional. You take out the part.
Just that part?
Yes.
Okay.
In my understanding, we wouldn't necessarily have to take it out, we could rewrite that portion. Is that
Well,
correct, or no?
You would amend the ordinance to remove the part that is found to be unlawful or unconstitutional and amend it to include different language.
Okay.
If need be.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions, but I would like to take more than the 5 days since to be able to review. This is such an important topic to do comparisons. It's very helpful to have this discussion. I would recommend that we table the topic from a voting perspective until can have some more chance to review this compared to the previous ordinances.
Make a resolution to adopt the draft amended ordinance with the revision on page 5 to remove the table for civil infraction notice, otherwise as presented.
I'll second.
To everybody else, that means he doesn't want to talk about that anymore.
I'll second.
All right, there has been a motion and a second to approve civil infraction ordinance with the modification of removing civil infraction notice columns or table out of section 8, fines and sanctions for violation and infractions. Everybody has had their questions answered, so we'll do a roll call vote.
Greg Carnes?
Yes.
Jennifer Eden?
Yes.
Herman Ferguson?
Yes.
Dean Haas?
No, I don't agree with the supervisor being one of the.
Pam Mockler? Yes.
Now, wait a minute, wait. You have to allow somebody voting no to give the reason for why they're voting no. That's in the trustee manual.
Chris Repetta?
I'd like to go back to Dean so he can finish explaining why he voted no.
Again, I'm voting no. I don't agree with the supervisor being one of the people that was allowed to issue these without the board overseeing it.
Chris Repetta?
I'm voting no for the same reason, in addition to the fact that I need more time to understand these difficult changes and have not been provided the opportunity to do so.
Zach Tucker?
Yes.
All right, the resolution carries. All right, moving on to the resignation of Rich Erickson from the Zoning Board of Appeals. I talked Rich into trying to stay on that board. He was on the Planning Commission and on the ZBA as the ex officio. And I tried to tell him that he'd be okay, that it didn't take as much time. And he tried it, but he missed a few meetings, and he come to me and said, Greg, my family is, and we all know families are more important. Most important thing we have, so he turned in his resignation, so I'd like the board to consider accepting his resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Rich Erickson from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Rich did say he was grateful for the opportunity, six or 7 years, I think he said. All right, item number 5, appointment of Chet Schultz to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Chet's been an alternate for, I don't know how many years. He was an alternate when I was on the board, the ZBA. And he jumped at the opportunity to be on there full-time, so.
I'll make a motion to appoint Chet Schultz to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Board.
There's been a motion to accept Chet to the Zoning Board of Appeals. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So Chet's on the board.
Do we, Mr. Supervisor, do we not need another alternate now? I know there is an alternate still.
Yes, we do. We still have one alternate, which we operated with one alternate for many, many years. I would like to get another one, but in the timing, I haven't really.
No, I understand. I was just curious.
Yeah, and then Rich actually was the chair, but they vote and pick themselves who the chair is and the vice chair, so they'll handle that. Item 6, the Michigan Township Association membership renewal. Easy for you to say. Anyway, I think we all know how important the MTA is to us, so we don't need really drone on.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve the Michigan Township Association membership renewal.
Support.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the Michigan Association, Township Association membership renewal. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous business. Zach, you got any, I know there's some, I had to call the newspaper. Their headline was messed up.
And the article.
Yeah, the article. But the headline, I mean, there was no decision given to the county, which they said in the article was given to the board. There was a, I guess I don't want to call it a motion, but you gave them a recommendation.
Right.
That's what I needed, for changing the zoning from FR to M1.
Correct.
On that one 50-acre parcel.
Correct.
44.
Or 44 point something. To change it to M1, I don't know if everyone realizes, but that has been in the plan, in the master plan for, I don't know, 25 years to do that. The sewer line runs along there. There's 100 REUs attached to that parcel of property, and it costs, I forget how much it is a year for those REUs, on top of their taxes.
Well, they've already paid for the REUs.
Oh, yeah, but-
Yeah. So they paid
But they
$6,000.
pay extra taxes for those.
Yes, because it's assessed with sewer.
So it is no surprise that for that property to remain FR is totally, it can't. It can't afford, you can't grow enough whatever. Well, I guess you could. Well, not even pot anymore. That's cheap. So you can't grow anything there to pay for the taxes. I mean, this is what the
Greg, I don't know if this is appropriate to be talking about this. It's not actually an agenda item. It
okay.
hasn't been brought to us. I understand the article, and you want to correct that, but I think discussing any further is
All right.
inappropriate at this point.
I agree.
Thank you.
I'm like trying
I know.
to clarify that article.
Clarify the article, yeah. but I
So
agree 100%.
messed up. Anyway,
I can give a brief update on, the data center ordinances. I think, just so the board knows, and for, the people who've stuck with us here, Planning Commission is working hard on the data center ordinance. And we're pushing both legal counsel and our planning advisor to work on drafts. We're happy to consider any input that anybody has. This board knows there's a moratorium in place right now that prevents any applications from even being considered while the Planning Commission is working on it. And we've worked on it at every meeting. We intend to continue to work on it every meeting as long as we have the materials available. So we're happy to hear any input, and we will work on it continuously until it's done. In terms of the last meeting, there was a public comment that was made this evening that I had a similar concern with, where we did have two trustees show up and address the Planning Commission, a separate body. And I will agree with the comment in that those individuals did it. They specifically stated that they did it as residents. But I am concerned that the line between resident and trustee, when it's the same person, is quite blurry. And I think that a comment that specifically directs the Planning Commission to do things by someone who is in fact a trustee is problematic. And I think the board should be aware of that.
It is improper.
I think Chuck has some comments on that too.
Yeah.
And that includes Greg's comments as well on the 29th of April.
It is totally improper for a board member to go down in front of the planning commission on an active issue and voice their opinion. You are board members at all times. You're also all private residents at the same time. You can't separate the two. I got a blurb out of a Michigan planning and zoning book that details that board members should not go down to the PC on issues before the PC. You would be setting the township up for liability on an issue that the PC has to make a recommendation on, and the board then has to make a decision on. The time for board members to voice their opinion is at the Board of Trustees table when it's before them.
And just for the record then, because Zach is only pointing at Dean and I, that also includes Greg's comments and dialogue on the meeting of the April 29th.
Okay.
Correct?
I
know you weren't there because you came in right at the last of that meeting. Zach, you missed that part. But that would be inclusive of another trustee because he's a trustee.
I did not approach the panel of the board as a resident. I was asked questions for clarification. That's all I'm saying.
And you answered it and
had
dialogue.
I had dialogue. I answered their questions for clarification.
Okay.
You're right, I wasn't there, but the issue isn't dialogue. The issue is direction.
There's a difference between giving direction and giving clarification.
And as a resident, you can ignore my comments like you normally do. That's perfectly fine.
As far as my comment, I was doing nothing but that also, clarification. The only comment I made was, if you remember correctly, was that this isn't about the person asking for it. This is about us zoning and doing it correctly. It doesn't matter if we like the person or don't like the person. It's clarification as to what the direction should be. And it's not, oh, he's a great guy, and oh, he's going to give us his word. The point is, how do we do zoning? And that was my comment.
I think the video speaks for itself.
Well, you called me out too on it. He did. So I want to make that clarification. My comment was, we're getting off topic here. We are not talking about Tony Eller and what a great guy is. That's not what zoning's about. It's about our ordinances, our way we do things, our master plan, and zoning per whatever standard we use for that.
But you're missing Zach's point. They're the planning commission. The board members are not. When it's
Wait,
presented to the board.
You just said you could go for clarification, so now I can't?
Not Greg, I'm talking Zach. Zach's on the board.
I
Zach's on the
understand that.
planning commission. We're not on the planning commission, and that's for a reason.
And my resident comment, and again, was for clarification. That's
can't
all I did.
remove
I did not try to influence them, tell them what they should do, how they should vote, or what I thought. I simply said that we were off topic. It wasn't about Tony Eller or whether he's a great guy. It's about how we zone and why we're going to zone it.
Irrespective
Why
of...
we're gonna zone it, but that's
As a
the
township,
problem.
I'm a township.
Yes, but we
Yeah,
don't have anything
you know
to do
something,
with
I'm
it
done with
until
I'm done with
after,
I'm done.
after planning commission.
It comes to
I
the
will
board.
continue to do what I think is right.
Well, the issue and the reason that I bring it before this board is the township attorney has told us it sets the township up for legal problems, liability, lawsuits.
Yep.
All right. Is there any other miscellaneous business? And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Interested when they decide they want to follow the law, I wouldn't regret it.
Yeah.